Welcome to Your American Dream. I'm Anisha Jennings, and today I'm honored to welcome Marina Zakharova to the show. Marina is an ICF-certified professional coach based in Toronto, Canada, who specializes in helping high-achieving professionals reclaim clarity, inner strength, and sustainable success without the burnout. She works with what she calls the strong ones: founders, executives, creatives, and quiet leaders who are successful on paper but quietly struggling on the inside. Through her unique blend of structure, soul, and emotional intelligence, Marina guides clients to rebuild confidence, navigate transition with grace, and restore work life balance without sacrificing ambition. Welcome, Marina. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hi, Anisha. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So tell us about Marina, where you came from and where you are right now and how you started your business, your corporate life and your early life.
Yeah. So I came to Canada in 2022, and this is my second immigration. So I was born in Ukraine, and half of my life I lived in Ukraine. I graduated from the university there, and half of my life I lived in Russia. So as you probably know, in 2022, the war began between Russia and Ukraine, and that basically made me to start a new life from the scratch. It was my immigration to Canada wasn't planned, but 2022 became a year of, I don't even know how to call it, but maybe people who experienced change that they didn't expect, significant change, and immigration is a significant change, yeah, and usually people getting ready, but when circumstances, life circumstances make us act not based on our comfort, but based on our values, this is where unknown begins. And when Russia invaded Ukraine, for me as a Ukrainian person, yeah, it was just something unbelievable. And as I worked in a corporate world and in basically the biggest bank in Russia, I worked with the executive board, and you can imagine how moderated everything was. You had to think a certain way, speak a certain way, yeah. Even if you think something, you couldn't speak it up, not only because you couldn't speak it up in general, but also because of the environment. So, and it was against my values. It was against my personality. It was against my humanity when I can't basically say how important and how awful is what was going on. For me, that decision was I can't even call it challenge, it was something bigger, but that unexpected change caused me to make a decision that basically then shaped my life in a completely different way. I planned a certain path for myself, but circumstances happened and I had to rebuild myself, rebuild my plans, yeah, from the scratch, rebuild my life basically. So for me, it was a decision I had to make because I knew that I wouldn't be able to live. I can survive. I can stay in comfort zone with comfort life. I had a beautiful life there. But being me was much more important for me. Stick to my values, stick to my beliefs, stick to my personality, who I am, and being able to speak my truth basically led me to the decision to immigrate. So I took my two kids, underaged at that moment, my elderly mom, and I traveled to Canada. It was unexpectedly, I wasn't ready financially, I wasn't ready emotionally, I wasn't ready at all. But I knew that when we live aligned with our core self, with our values, we are capable to go through any change, even if it's tough, even if it's hard. But that inner motivation basically helps you a lot. I call it, you start working towards your dream, towards your goal, and your dream starts working on you. My dream was to live a free life, to speak up freely, to not to think about how my words can affect me. I mean, in a broader perspective, yeah. I mean, when you speak about things that matter to you, and when you are not allowed to even use certain words,
Yes.
it just takes away your freedom. And my core values is freedom and truth. So that's why I came here, because I believe in American dream.
Yes.
And I figured that this might be the right country, And when I came here, even though I had more than 15 years of corporate experience, like in corporate environments, I have bachelor in economy and entrepreneurship, and master in organizational management. And I worked in corporate environment more than 10 years, basically. Yeah, around 15. And when I came here, of course, I had to find a survival job, because I didn't plan, and I wasn't ready financially. But even though I started that job, at the back of my mind, I knew that I wanna make more. I want to make a difference. I know the situation I know how hard immigration is. I already experienced it when I moved from Ukraine to Moscow to Russia. Even though I was 20 at that time, it was still hard. It was still tough. And even though I spoke the same language as I spoke in Ukraine, still it was hard. Because you leave behind your family, your friends, your lifestyle, everything, your culture. I lived in Moscow for 20 years, and my kids were born there. I built a beautiful life. I was able to, from that scratch, to build. I don't even. I'm not afraid to say that I built a like a life of my dream. What made it more difficult?
Yes, to live and to experience that.
Yeah, and here I am, 2022. I'm at my place with 2 kids, with a bunch of problems, just to blend it in new society, to speak different language, to figure out how it's all working here. Yeah, and even such simple things that we took for granted, as like just having your bank card.
Yes.
Yeah, just like a bank card, like your driver's license. Yeah.
Right.
I had to take exam again, because I wasn't allowed to drive with I was allowed for a certain
period. Yes.
But yeah, and then just to buy a car, to find a house, and it was all differently. Back in my country, it was different. Here, everything was new. I didn't have friends. I had just part of my family, because I also had to go along because my husband couldn't go with. And it's another story. So I guess women who had to experience immigration by themselves, without their significant others, just kids, I basically became a single mom, not being a single mom. Yeah, it was hard to put your kids to school, all that documentary, which you don't have to do when you're not an immigrant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, so all that stuff, finding work, yeah. Anyways, I still was excited because I knew my why. I knew why I was doing that. I knew how it will help me to remain myself, and how my children will be able also to grow in the environment where basically humans' life matters.
Yes.
And I guess human's life is the highest value, and nothing can be more important than that. So this is how experiencing all that adversities, all those challenges, basically brought me to the point where I said to myself, yeah, by the way, if I'm making any mistakes in English, English is not my first language, so please bear with me.
No worries at all.
Perfect. Yeah, I just want to share my experience that may be useful and supportive for someone who find themselves in a critical situation or challenging situation. And so that was my point to start helping others to go through such challenging times. I started, even though I was even back in Moscow, I was a speaker, I was a time management tutor as well. I was helping professionals to become more productive, to take the best from the time we are given. Yeah, because we only have 24 hours a day and we all choose how to spend that time. The wiser we're spending the time of our lives,
Yes.
the more we can get, the more we can create. And
Yes.
life we can create for ourselves and for our loved ones. So I had that background of helping people be more productive. But now I realized how important it is to be not only productive, but also emotionally strong and capable. Because when you are achieving, you're always like being that, yeah, meeting the expectation, the standards, like being disciplined and all that stuff. At some point, you can find yourself burnt out. Yeah.
Yes.
You can find yourself that, okay, I achieved all that stuff, but is that it?
Right.
Is that what I was looking for? Because I can tell you that a year later, 2023, I woke up one morning and I'm like, I don't want to go to that job. I can't even get up of the bed because, yes, if you looked at my life, everything is good. I'm just a year here in Canada. I already have a good position. I have a nice house. My kids are doing great, everything is okay. Everything is good. I have a nice car. Like everything looks perfect in my life.
Yeah.
But the way I felt inside was telling the opposite.
Right. Right.
And this is how I started to basically search what I can give, how I can live my life so I could be fulfilled and people around me were also supported and inspired. And I always loved psychology, coaching. I had my own coach. I loved her. She helped me so much in just personal development because I always want to go further, be better, to achieve more. Because I love that. And I knew how powerful and transformative that experience was for me. So I just decided to go and become that person myself, to become a transformational coach. Because
Lovely.
transformation, change is always challenging.
Right. Right.
So I knew that I know how powerful coaching was for me. I realized that I need coaching for myself at this moment because I'm at the low point and I need support. And I always knew that getting that support, even though you're busy, you think, oh, maybe like I can do it by myself. No. You should let people help you.
Yes. Yes.
So I started searching. I found a perfect mentor coach and I started I already had some certificates at that time, but I, as a high achiever myself, possible in this field. So that's why I chose for myself ICF accredited programs. And at the same time, I was studying at 2 coaches academies.
Wow.
Canada, another one in United Kingdom. Thank God everything is online now.
Well, talk about high achieving and you're doing it all. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. So so I went through the education, through transformation myself, and I always try everything on me. I'm my first, as I say, I'm always my first client, you know, when I see how it works on me, I can now help others. If I not transformed my life in the way I want to help others, so do I have the right to do that? So for me, it's always like, do it yourself first and then give it to people. And this is how I started not only live from my dream, but also help others live their dream. And I find it so inspiring, you know, and so fulfilling to be able to give that helping hand to persons, yeah, to people who are strong, who always meet that, you know, requirements, standards, expectation, whatever. And they always try to help their families, their kids, they support their spouses. Yeah, they give. But they also need that space for themselves.
Yes.
A space where they can feel at home.
Right.
And it's inside you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this. This is just amazing with, all of everything that you said, to have a very comfortable life and for circumstances to force you and shift you to make these huge changes in your life. And you told us all about, how you got a coach and how important it is for coaching and to seek for help. And now you are so successful. So how do you create a safe space for high achievers to be vulnerable?
You know, it is easy for me because it's just being present. It's just being human. It's just not to judge, not to expect, just let them be who they are. Let them connect to the part of themselves that is not always heard, even by them. I create that silent space, quiet space, a sacred space. I mean, I think just by being their, I don't know, mirror, just being a human, just being a heart.
Yes, just being present to listen to them.
Yeah, with no judgment, with no expectations, with no rush, just letting them be themselves. Because we find time for everything, for everybody, but not for us sometimes, But I like that analogy with the plane, when we are taught, and we are told, like, in case something happens, first you put that mask on yourself, and after that you put that mask on others.
Yes.
So if those people who are there for everybody else, but not for themselves, how can they be that support, that help, that inspiration for others if they I don't know, like, just cancel themselves? Yeah.
Right.
I guess it's the most important. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be not okay.
Yes.
For strong people, it's such a challenge. And when you can tell them that I see a human right in front of me, I don't see a leader, I don't see a CEO or executive or just a professional, I don't see your achievements. I see you. I see a human being in front of me who needs just to create space for themselves, and to reconnect to their purpose.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you've told us about your story on, everything, basically how you came here and how you started your business. So there's not much to unpack there, but let's talk more about your coaching. So how do you help yourself, or how do you help your clients with the work-life alignment so that, they don't have to sacrifice their ambition?
So first of all, we need to start listen to ourselves and saying more yeses to us. As I said, you can't help others on the plane, if you don't have that oxygen for yourself. If you're burnt out, you can't be present for your spouse, for your kids. Well, you kind of are present, but what is the quality of your presence? So I always start, and you know what? I am a mother of two girls, and my elder daughter is a professional ballerina, and in so it's a huge work. It's and especially, you know, like Russia is very famous for its ballet, so it's a huge thing. It's like hockey in Canada, baseball in America,
Yeah.
like ballet for Russia, it's huge. Like you have to. It's a so. What I'm trying to say is that I put a lot of energy and effort to bring her to all the schools and all. I don't even want to go there. And I also had and we lived in Moscow, and the academy was in St. Petersburg, and it's 700 kilometers away. And I worked at a bank at a pretty high level, and I had 4-year-old daughters, and I was able to do that. You know why? Just because I have learned how to restore myself. At some point, I was burnout as a mother as well. So I understand when you have kids, when you have husband, work, and you have to jump, blah, 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 everything.
Yes.
I was burnt out at some point, and how I restored myself is just reconnecting to myself, knowing what do I need to feel fulfilled, to feel restored, how I can restore my energy. And once I realized that giving myself a couple of hours, like at least a week, I mean myself, like for me, it was water, it was pool, it was massage, it was something that physically really restored me. And it was hard because like I didn't have helpers, you know, I didn't have even like grandmas near, because my family lived in Ukraine, and there in Moscow it was only me and my husband and our kids. Nobody helped us. So but I still at some point I told my husband, you know what, if you want me happy and healthy and working effectively and being productive for everybody, you have to give me those couple of hours just for me. Sometimes I just go for a walk near like a lake or something. I just needed time for myself, just me and nobody else. No kids, no husband, no work, no nothing, no friends, no friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first thing. And also your environment is also very important. You have to protect yourself from toxic people, from toxic environments, because a lot of people want you to do what they want, sacrificing your own needs. Yeah. So this is also what work is never ending. We have to learn to teach ourselves to say no, even to work, to people who drain our energy. Because sometimes, you like they may be nice people, but you meet them and just like they complain, or like they can even not complain, but they all like you feel drained. Yeah, like talk to them for 20 minutes, but now I'm like fully exhausted. So be aware of people who you're surrounding yourself with.
Yes.
This is important, because don't afraid to say no, to people like that, to situations like that. Sometimes we have situations that drain our energy, and this simple it may sound, but sometimes it's not that hard to say no to those situations. And here I'm being a time management tutor. Yeah, we have to learn to know what's important, to distinguish what's important and what's not important, because everything is just like boom, 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 boom on us. Yeah, like we live in such a environment, like fast-paced environment, that like information is just like floating. Information is going from every single, I don't know, corner. Yeah, from everywhere, and we have to stay balanced. We have to say no to not only to people, but also to information. Yeah. So when you know what's important and what's not important in your life, you can prioritize. So the main thing is prioritize. Always prioritize what's important for you. And when you feel that you need a physical restoration, prioritize your physical rest, like sleep.
Yeah.
Eating good, yeah, drinking water, we forget sometimes, yeah, just but that those simple steps, as like when you wake up, just drink a glass of pure water. If you have it as a habit, your physical well-being will improve significantly just from that simple thing alone, you know, as a glass of water more. So for me, I need workout. I need workout and I need pool. I need water. I just love water. So I go to the pool, I go to the sauna. And of course, my time is limited, but I have to create that time for my physical restoration, because if I don't, long term, I will find myself burned out. I will find myself sick. I will find myself weak.
Yes.
Yeah, and health is always a priority. I invite everybody to remember that health is always a priority. When you know what's important to you and you know how to prioritize, you're going to be doing the things that basically help you to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yes.
What is important? Important is that what helps you to achieve your goals. This is what's important, because sometimes people ask me, but how do I know everything is important?
Yes. Yeah.
If you just write down your tasks, your usual tasks, yeah, and use the simple method as Eisenhower's matrix, yeah, everybody knows that, everybody. But sometimes, and it's like important and not important, yeah, simple as that. Look what's important and how you know what's important. The important things, they lead you to your goals, to achieving your goals, your dreams. And if that action or if that situation doesn't help you to go where you want to go, look at it. Is it really important to do it right now? Can you plan it? Or if it's already urgent, can you delegate that?
Yes. Yeah.
It's very important for high achievers, because they are so smart and so talented and productive that they can do the best. Yeah. Nobody like they can. They start doing everything themselves. But it is so important to delegate. And this is also how you can create so much more time for yourself, for your what's important for you. Is just delegate things that you can delegate. Let people do the work for you. Let them, even if they're not, they might do it not as perfect as you can do it, but look at it from different perspective. You can invest your energy and your time to something strategic that lead you to your goal. If somebody cleaned your space not as perfectly as you do.
So what about those people who do not have internal motivation? You know, some people are not internally motivated. Some people don't know how to prioritize, or they're like, you know, I don't know where to start. What would be your advice for someone like that?
Connect to themselves, to connect to yourself. See, if you don't know what is important to you, you don't know what you want in life, you don't know your values. What do you value? Where are you going? You know what? I'd say I always, when I do workshops, I always give like a line, yeah? And imagine it's a line. Here we have green zone, here we have yellow zone, and here we have red zone. So red zone, I don't know what I want. I don't have a dream or a goal, and I'm just living my life on autopilot. Yellow zone is I have a dream or a goal. I'm like, maybe I'm even doing something, but I still live my life from default, you know, by default, and I am not prioritizing my goals and dreams. So my life is not fully on autopilot, but mostly. And the green zone is I know what I want in my life. I have dreams, I have goals, and I every single day I work on them. Every single day I do something that helps me move towards my goals and dreams. So where are you right now? Are you at the in the red zone, yellow, or in the green? Just assess. Assess. Start from the simple assessment. Where are you?
Right. Right.
Of course, we all want to be in the green zone, but the reality is that most of people are in the red zone. And once you realize that, once you become aware, you have the choice. When you're aware, you have the power to choose. So you can choose to stay where you are, or you can choose to work on yourself, to work on your dreams and goals, and start creating life that would matter for you, that will be purposeful and fulfilling for you.
Right.
And how do we do it? As simple as that. Ask yourself, what would I love? What would I love? Not what others tell me to do, not what society wants me, not what social media tells me, but what would I love? And this is the space where you connect to your heart, to your soul, to your inner self, to your basically purpose. And from there, you have to find your values. What are your values? You have to understand what are your values, because when you know your values, you know what you're actually gonna create your borders, boundaries. This is how you create your boundaries, because if you don't know your values, you can't basically protect your boundaries. You don't know when to say yes and when to say no, what is good, what is bad for you. And it is so vague right now, because people are so lost. They don't even understand what they value, because that external noise always tells them what to value. But we have our own values, and every single person has its own core values set that basically shapes their personality. Once you know yourself, you can build your purpose. You can reconnect to your purpose, to your meaning, to senses in your own life. This is what I help my clients to do, because sometimes we are so, not sometimes, I'd say most of the people are so disconnected from themselves that basically they need that help. So of course I use bunch of tools, and it's gonna
Sure.
So I just look at the person and I see what they need, gently move them towards what they would love. And
Perfect.
how we create together. It's a process of co-creation. Once they learn about themselves more, once they reconnect to themselves, they can design that strategy plan for themselves, that path, how they can live without burnout, restoring their work-life balance, and feeling, even in the challenging and stormy situation, they feel grounded, they feel calm, and no matter what is going on outside, that inner peace and inner strength let them handle their life with.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. So if somebody wants to work with you and, be coached by you, what is the best way that they can connect with you?
Thank you, by the way, for that question. Yeah. You know what? For the people who feel that they're really already at the point that they know that they need help, I'd suggest just connect with me. If it's possible, I can share the link just to book. And you know what? If people are with us till this point, they're probably really interested. So I want to share a gift for them. I want to share, I want to give them an opportunity to have their first session for free. I can share the link where they can register and have a free session with me. Also, they can connect with me through Instagram at Marina Life Group. Marina Life Group, it's my name of my business. So they can go to website www.marinalifegroup.com, Instagram, LinkedIn, Marina Zakharova. They also can find me. There's a lot of Marina Zakharovas because Zakharova is very well spread last name.
Yeah, well,
so they can just recognize my face.
Yes, we will put all the the exact links in the show notes. And that's an amazing offer to have a free session with you. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much again for your time today, sharing your story and sharing all your advice and your strategies. And I'm hoping this inspires someone and that, people are motivated to move forward with life. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Anisha. I wish a lot of success and fulfillment to all your endeavors. Yeah, and I would like to say at the end that never give up on your dreams. Keep dreaming. American dream.
Yes.
Possible to do it. So just keep dreaming, keep going, and just to see what's happened.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you again for that.
Thank you, Anisha, and thank you everybody who were with us.
Yes. As we conclude our transformative conversation with Marina, remember that true success includes both performance and presence, ambition and alignment. If you're ready to share your coaching expertise through a website that reflects the depth and authenticity of your transformational work, I'd love to help create that grounded digital presence through custom Squarespace or WordPress websites. This is Anisha Jennings reminding you that sometimes the most powerful leadership comes from leading yourself first. Until next time.